Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the finals. Our hand is only missing a plains to be incredible, so not going to mulligan this on the draw. If we don't manage to draw plains, then we are going to have to settle for an attendant knight on turn 3. But let's see what our deck gives us. Oh yeah, that's a great draw. I mean, even though he has Essence Scatter mana, just having a 2-drop as opposed to having no 2-drop, especially with a Planeswalker in play in our hand, and now also the mana to cast it, is a huge deal. So I don't think that running out Ajani head first here is the right play. Attendant Knight is great as a blocker. Dark favoring up the Sunstriker might become an option later, but I think we just curve out here and then see what happens. Okay, we had some kind of lag there, but that should be working now. Depending on what he does, we can safely drop Ajani, although we don't want to play it if he has a flyer out. But at some point we are going to need to devise a plan of how to get through his defense. So far he hasn't shown the most impressive cards, but, well, now there's a 1/6 defender as well, okay. But that doesn't mean his deck is bad. It probably just means we haven't seen the best cards yet. Now, Ajani to make the Sunstriker a 3/3 doesn't accomplish too much. I think this game is won in the air, so I'm going to run out the War Falcon and immediately use Ajani's ability to protect it from Crippling Blight, but also to make it more potent if there's going to be any air fights. If he passes here, it's very likely that he has Fairy Invaders, for example. So far everything is looking great, but that can change with cards like Tyrant's Invocation or Vampire Nighthawk, or even just some card draw spells very quickly. And he actually doesn't play anything, so I think we are going to see Fairy Invaders here, but of course I'm not 100% sure. And War Falcon with Vigilance. The question is, do we also give it the counter? And I think we do. It's possible that it's going to die now, but if it doesn't, it's the only creature that we really want to make stronger here. It's actually not unreasonable to go for Ajani's ultimate if our opponent doesn't find a way to attack Ajani. Some more exalted guys. Now, a dark favor on the Sunstriker certainly means that it's going to get through. He has 4 power, and we could combine Dark Favor and Ajani to make it stronger than Primal Clay. Yeah, I mean, this is another turn where we deal damage as opposed to not, so I think I'm going to try that. Yeah, he's blocking with Kraken Hatchling just to prevent the damage to himself. Quite the reasonable line. However, with the help of Exalted and Ajani's ultimate, we could realistically just deal 20 in one attack very soon. In fact, we could do it right now with Battleflight Eagle. And the Ajani is at 5, so I think I'm just going to see what happens if I play the Eagle here. Yeah, I'm just going to try it. Make this a 10 power creature and then double strike to victory. There's some cards he can have, but if he had ways to get rid of the Sunstriker last turn, he would have used them. And even if he does have a murder or something comparable, this game is far from lost. We are still in a commanding position with the Planeswalker and another evasive creature. So I think that was a risk we could take there. Now, against the all-defender deck, it feels like Crippling Blight, once again, is quite a good option. Don't like Mark of the Vampire that much, especially now that he's seen Dark Favor. He's going to try to bring in as much stuff to punish us for playing these cards. Duress, I always like against blue-black. Gives us a better idea of what he has. So, I think Safe Passage isn't great against the all-defender deck. And we are going to find one more card to board out, put in another swamp for the curve. It's weird that he's also playing cards like Tormented Soul. That doesn't really fit into his overall theme. Now, it feels like Zombie Goliath and Guardians of Akraza are once again the worst cards. I'm going to take out the Guardians because if he's really removal heavy, I need as many creatures as possible to beat him. And once again, a hand that relies on drawing a plains, but if we don't, we can draw a lot of spells. Yeah, I was going to argue that there aren't that many swamps left in the deck, but swamp, of course, being the worst draw we can have here. But, well, we drew a second plane, so everything is great. There's much less answers to an Ajani here than to putting a Dark Favor on the Sunstriker. That's bad against Murder, against Unsummon, and everything else, while dropping Ajani is only really bad against Negate, which he can have at some point anyway. He still didn't show us a rewind or anything. And we can continue to build a nice creature here. Well, or we don't. He has a second murder, but that's fine. We still have the Goliath and the soldier token to protect Ajani. He almost needs a flyer now to be able to prevent Ajani from going ultimate. And if he doesn't have one, then he might be in trouble. Going to pump the soldier here so that I have 2 blockers for Scroll Thief. And Zombie Goliath didn't do like the greatest job this match, but I like that it's a Zombie Goliath now instead of Guardians of Akraza. Just a more powerful card, of course, at this stage. And the double murder deck is not one where you want to drop Exalted Walls. If he attacks with both here, I'm going to put him on Cower in Fear or something comparable. But if he doesn't have anything, he actually can't attack at all. Okay, a down power to tap our creatures. Get in with the Scroll Thief. Well, yeah, probably get in with the Scroll Thief. No, he decides to take down Ajani by 2 points. Don't know if I agree with that. But sadly he has another card which I don't know. And that means I'm going to play this defensively for 1 more turn. There is no reason to give him more outs to draw out of this with Scroll Thief. But what I didn't understand was why he decided to remove a loyalty counter from Ajani instead of drawing a card. That seems like it would have been the better play. Now we do have a lethal attack with the help of Ajani here at some point, but it's really tough to do something against his 6 open mana. It could be a public execution or something similar. And once again he has the murder mana, but possibly he only has, well, he has played 2 murders, so I don't think that murder is a high probability here. Unsum would be unfortunate, but I'm kind of weak to Unsum anyway. Now that he has the Harbor Bandit, the Ajani loses some of its value anyway, so I think I'm just going to go for it. Well, that was almost easy. I didn't know if this was going to work out, but I certainly didn't want to do it when he had 6 mana open for Fairy Invaders and Public Execution. But he had played 2 murders, and he already used a card like Downpower for an effect that, well, where removal spell would also have been better. And when he played the Harbor Bandit, I knew that my Ajani wouldn't really get the job done with the creatures I had. I wanted to use the double strike ability when I had the chance. So it looks like my risk paid off there. Going for the risky play paid off. Kind of like a gut feeling thing as well. Well, not believing that your opponent has an unsummon or a murder at this stage. Yeah, made me comfortable in playing like this, and it worked out. We got a nice Planeswalker, and we won the draft. This was Simon Gertzen recording for MTGOacademy.com. I hope you're enjoying Simon Says, and I will read all of your comments and hopefully also have the time to respond as usual. See you next time.